Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. It's your boy Tree Trevor Turner. We're back with another video, man. Back with the free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree, and we're on the letter P. And the letter P, there were a lot of good options for this one, man. We had, obviously, you got power, you got passion, you got persistence. But look, the thing that I want to talk about today for the letter P, the reason I want to talk about this is because this is something that is so important for people who are starting on being awakened, their awakened journeys, or being motivated, or getting into new things, or following their dreams, or setting new goals, or changing their life. This is something that is so important at that beginner stage. It's something, the stage that I am at right now, the stage that I am at in life, and I embody this in so many different ways. And what we're going to be talking about is purpose. And then obviously the reason that that's so important is because all those other words that I talked about, all those other topics that I talked about, all those other things that I just mentioned, persistence, passion, power, those are literally byproducts and manifest functions of purpose. Those are things that purpose brings about. Those are a result of having purpose. Purpose brings power. Purpose brings passion. Purpose brings persistence. Purpose is something that you need. You need it. You need to have purpose. You need to know your purpose. You need to know how to find and cultivate your purpose. You need to know how to keep that purpose, the fire of that purpose, burning. You need to know how to kindle it and rekindle it over and over again. You need to know how to shift your trajectory to follow purpose. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what is purpose. We're going to talk about the benefits of purpose. We're going to talk about the most important piece of it, how to find purpose. And then we're going to talk about how to shape your life, how to shape what it is that you're doing into following, finding, landing at, achieving purpose. All right? So Mark Twain, great American author, he said, the two most important days you got are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Purpose is why. Purpose is why you do what you do. Purpose is that why you're going the way you're going. Purpose is why you wake up every day trying to do the things that you're trying to do. Purpose is not goals. Purpose is not survival. Purpose is not what other people expect you to do. Purpose is not your job, unless you're one of them lucky few people who found the job that aligns with your purpose. But purpose is not those things. Purpose is not goals. Purpose is the destination. Purpose is the trajectory, the overall overarching theme, right? The goals are how you get there. The goals are the things that you were shooting for as a result of your purpose. Unless you haven't found your purpose and you just live in a goal-oriented life, there's nothing wrong with that. But having purpose makes those goals so much better, so much easier to attain. It makes those things just that much more able to do just automatically, because they fit into what you are naturally gifted with, what you are naturally good at, what you are naturally inclined to do. I'll give you an example. So with what I'm doing with these videos and things like that, the goal is to build the following. The goal is to build a subscriber base. The goal is to make it something that's monetized. The goal is to eventually have a big enough platform to bring in other people who can talk about the same things that I talk about. The goal is to bring in other people who can do some workout videos. The goal is to bring in some people who know yoga, can do yoga. The goal is to bring in other people so we can do a video book club or book reviews. The goal is to have people come on and give relationship and dating advice. The goal is to have people who are spiritually inclined come in and give you ways to connect and be in tune with the spiritual center. That's the goal. And then the goal is to make it something that is big like that, and I can have all these different people doing all of these different things on that platform. The purpose of it is to help people. The purpose of it is to help people find their passion and their purpose, to help people find that changed mindset, to help people get out of the rat race, to help people get out of survival mode, the same way that I was able to do even in a cell, even in prison. And the thing about it is that we are all locked into these different things and we don't even know it. I was locked in. I was so much more locked into shit when I was free before I went back to prison than I was when I went into prison. And the reason is because I found my purpose. And that's the difference. Goals are the things that you're shooting for, but the purpose is the reason that you're shooting for those things. Now let's talk about how we find that purpose. Or before we talk about that, let's talk about the importance of purpose. Let's talk about why it is so important to have purpose. Because if you think about goals and you think about trajectory and you think about where it is that you want to go with your life, purpose is just so much more important, because purpose is the wind behind your sails. Purpose is the trajectory. If you think about a ship, back in the day, they had to use ships to get from the New World, the Americas, to get back to Europe, to get back to Africa. They had to use ships. And if you think about a rudder is the little wheel that they had on the boat would turn the rudder. And if you turn the rudder even that much from your starting destination, you could end up in a place that you don't even recognize. That's why purpose is so important. Look, there was a study at a university that said people who had purpose well into their old age were much less likely to develop things like Alzheimer's. People who have purpose are much more likely to live healthy lives. They're much more likely to live happy lives. They're much more likely to live connected lives. People with purpose are much more likely to be comfortable in their own skin. And this is something I even saw in a video earlier today. It said that the 3 marks of an attractive man is a man who knows where he's going, comfortable in his own skin, and has fun on the way to getting to where he's going. All 3 of those things are a manifest function of purpose. And then one of the things we have to remember about purpose is that purpose is not for us. Purpose is not a selfish thing. My purpose, the reason why I was born on this planet, was not for me. Now, my purpose may come with a lot of things that are going to benefit me. But it's like I talked about last week. A lot of us get caught up on those side things, and that's where we lose track of what it is that we're trying to get to. But purpose is not for me. The reason why I was born on this planet, the reason why I was born with the ability to talk the way I talk, the reason I was born with the ability to think the way I think, and the reason I was born with the ability to look at my own life and look at other people's lives and say, you know what would be better? You know what would help you? You know what would help you smile more? Instead of just trying to tell people to smile more, I have something that could help you smile more on a regular, everyday basis. I have something that could help you do better in what it is that you're trying to do. Or I have the permission and the validation in my mind that'll come out of my mouth in the right way that'll let you know that it's okay to walk the fuck away from what is not taking you towards that purpose. And the reason I was born like that, the reason that I became like that, the reason that stuff is so well developed in me so easily is because my purpose is to help other people in that way. My purpose is to help other people with their walk. The reason that I had to go through so much bullshit in my life is not only because of my choices. It is because I needed to become the person I needed to become to fulfill that purpose. My purpose is something that's so big and it's going to help so many people that I had to go through so much bullshit and so much mud to develop it the way I needed to develop it. And that's because I didn't know how to cultivate it. I didn't know how important it was. So let's talk about how to cultivate it. Let's just get straight to it. Let's talk about how to cultivate purpose. I'm going to give you 3 different exercises to cultivate purpose. It's basically 3 different questions. The first one is a pretty simple question. This is going to help you find purpose. And I want you to get out of survival mode, survival mindset. I want you to get out of escape mode and escape mindset, okay? A lot of people, the answer to this first question is the very first answer that your mind tries to come up with. Think about it. Think about whether it's something that's beneficial to other people. And if it isn't, get rid of it and rethink the question. All right? Here's the first question. If money wasn't an issue, if you were a billionaire, after you've taken all the time to just, because a lot of people are in that survival and that escape mindset mode, after you take the time to just rest and relax and you know what, I never have to work again, I never have to do nothing, and I'm gonna kick my feet up and do all this other stuff, I'm gonna go party and enjoy and all that other shit. When you get bored with all that other shit, if money was not an object, if you didn't have to worry about affording rent, if you didn't have to worry about paying for food, if you didn't have to worry about paying for a vehicle, if you didn't have to worry about none of that, but you were bored, what is it that you would go out and do? What is it you would go out and do? Or another way to think about this question, if you could have any job you wanted, and that job paid $150,000 to $200,000 a year, so now money doesn't become an issue. You can choose whatever you want to do, and that pays $200,000 a year. What would you do? Where would you go? Who would you work with? Who would you engage with? Who would you try to help? What would you try to sell to people? What would you try to offer people? What would you try to bring to people? Would you sit back and build stuff? Would you talk about sports? Would you go and help the animals? Would you go swim in the ocean and look at the fish? What would you do? For me, obviously, if money wasn't an object and I didn't have to work, I would literally just yell into my camera the way that I do now all day long about the things that I found when I was in prison. Period. That's what I would do. I would do this. And then between this, after I'm done recording this, I would go and write some stuff. I'd go and write some stuff. And then after I get done writing some stuff, I'd get back on the camera and say, you know what, matter of fact, I forgot to say this. And blah, 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 blah. And yell at the camera like I be doing now. That's what I would do. I would talk to people. If money wasn't an object, if money wasn't an issue, I would talk to people about how their life is going and let them dump all of their bullshit on me. And then ask them, do you want a solution or did you want me to just listen to you? If you wanted me to listen to you, I got you. If you want a solution, here it go. That's what I would do. And this is not something that I had my whole life. This is not something I found or knew my whole life. I didn't like people for the longest time. For the longest time, I liked dogs more than people. But I never once thought about becoming a vet. I always thought about like the people that I did let into my circle, the people that I did let into those walls, the people that I did let in. I wanted to be that for those people. I was just so jaded and I was so had my guard up and all of that stuff from chasing other bullshit that I wasn't able to see that was my purpose. But now that I have that different mindset, now that I want to do something different, I think about what it is that I would do if money was not an issue, and that's it. Period. Second thing, and this comes about, I read this because I was doing a lot when I was doing my mindset, finding my mindset and all that stuff. I was reading a lot of the self-help books, reading a lot of that stuff, Tony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, Covey, Purpose-Driven Life, all that other stuff. And nothing against Purpose-Driven Life. I read Purpose-Driven Life. The only thing that Purpose-Driven Life taught me was that my purpose was not about me. That's it. My purpose is for other people. Well, actually, you know what? I can't say only thing. That's a huge, important thing. But finding my purpose had to come out through so many other different steps. So I'm actually giving y'all a whole bunch of different stuff combined into these three questions. So now the second question I want you to think about is I want you to think about your 100th birthday. I want you to think about, if you live to be 100, or you live to be 90, you live to be 95, I want you to think about that. I don't want you to think about whether you're sick or in pain. I don't want you to think about if you're able to move around still. I don't want you to think about even what you look like. I don't want you to think about what you feel like. What I want you to think about is who is going to be there. Who is going to be there? I want you to think about what type of people are going to show up. Not only what type of people are going to show up, what are those people going to be telling other people in the crowd or in the groups of people that are at this huge birthday celebration, this huge milestone. You've been around for a long time. You've seen some shit. You've done some shit. You've met and affected a lot of people along the way, whether you thought you were or not, whether you said, you know what, if I didn't have to worry about money, I would build bridges and shit. I want you to think about all them people who drove over them bridges came. All them people you talked to, all your family members. Think about what they would say. Think about the things that they would say to each other. What would you want them to say to each other? Don't go based upon your insecurities of who you are now. I want you to think about, if you've been living the way that you want to live, if you have been becoming, if you have been living and walking in the results of all this manifestation and shit that we've been talking about all these affirmations and shit, about all this visualization, if you have been living as a master of that and done everything that you wanted to do, achieved all your goals and all your dreams and followed your beliefs and made all the right choices, right? What would the people say to that person? 70 years down the line, 80 years down the line or whatever, when you get to this point, when you get to this birthday celebration, what would they say that you've done for them? How would they say that you've affected them? How would they say that you've benefited them? Why would they be proud to be involved in your birthday celebration? Why would they be so excited that they got the invitation? What would they say about you? What would you have done for them, to them, right? And this takes it a little bit further when we think about purpose, right? Because now not only do you have the people that the work you've done has affected, but this has the people that you've related to on a personal level. See, for instance, like, I want to have a whole bunch of kids and grandkids and stuff there. I want to have all of my family there. I want to have people saying, you know what? It looked touch and go for a little bit there. We were kind of worried about him for a little while there, but he turned it around. You know what? Even me, somebody who knew him when he was a fuck up. Even me, somebody who knew him when he was, all he had on him, all he had to offer people was drugs or a pistol. Knowing that he was that person at one point in time, he became this other person. He was able to revolutionize even the way that I thought about myself. He was able to make me look at myself in a new light. He was able to make me walk in a new direction. And then the other people who knew you only after you started walking in that new thing, saying, you know what? All I know about this dude is that he was motivating. All I know about him is that he taught me to live the way I wanted to live. He taught me that I didn't have to live the way social media said I should live. He taught me that there were people out there, not just the loudest, bitter people on social media, but he taught me there was somebody out there who was going to value me and appreciate me. And he helped me find that. He helped me be willing to walk away when I couldn't find that. He helped me. He helped me. He did this for me. He allowed me to be. He brought this into my mindset. He told me this. And when you think about those things, when you think about what those people are saying, not even on no bullshit, not on no like, oh yeah, he helped me make this, he helped me. No, like on some real shit, like even the little shit that you've done for the people close to you. I want you to think about those things, and that's how you find and define your purpose on a more smaller personal level. So we've talked about the work that you're going to do. Now we're talking about what the people close to you are going to say. The people that you would allow at like a birthday party, right? Now let's bring it all together on the third exercise. And this one I got from Tony Robbins. I got this from Awaken the Giant Within. And this was something that I thought about. I want you to think about your funeral. I want you to think about your funeral. If you've been to a funeral before, I want you to think about a funeral. If you watched like a famous person's funeral or watch the highlights from it or watch the people speaking, I want you to think about that, and I want you to think what it would be like for yours. If you have lived the way that you want to live, if you have done all the things that you set out to do, if you have an inkling of what it is that you want to do, and you decided to follow it, and you decided to be that person, I want you to think about what that funeral would look like. And the reason this was huge for me is because I've been to a lot of funerals. I've been to a lot. I've been to funerals where 2 or 3 people showed up, no one spoke. I've been to funerals where damn near everybody at the school, like it was close to high school age, damn near everybody at the high school showed up for this dude. I've seen funerals of people who have done momentous and tremendous and monumental things in their life where it was televised and everybody showed up. And they told his story as if his entire life story was a celebration, as if his entire life story was something that touched people, because guess what? It was. Even the funeral where 2 or 3 people showed up and nobody spoke. We all knew what this person was to us. The place where the whole school showed up, everybody got up there and they was able to say a few words about who this person was to us. When we talk about Senator John Lewis, when Obama got up there and spoke and he told his life story, and we all got to think about who he was, not only to them, but to us as well as a country. For the things like civil rights movement, the things that he did, the way he affected the world, the way he affected other people positively, the movements that he led, the causes he championed, right? I want you to think about if it was you laying in that casket and you had lived the way you want to live, what would those people say about you? What would those people say about you? And even if your funeral is a low-key event where nobody gets up to speak, because you had a pact with your 3 closest friends to say, you know what, when I die, I just want y'all to show up. I don't want nobody to get up there and say shit. I just want y'all to think about what it was, who I was to y'all, what we did together, all the stuff we got into. And I just want y'all to think about it, remember it, and go crack open a beer for me when you're done, right? What would those people be thinking about? What would they be thinking about? What would they be telling each other when they got to the bar? Because they may not say nothing in the funeral home, but when they get to the bar, they're going to say, you know what? He was this. He was that. He was great at this. He was so great at that. Whenever I needed him, whenever I needed help, whenever I was down and out, he was the one who came to pick me up. He revolutionized things like design. He revolutionized things like web design. He made the best video game I ever played in my life. Like, he was the best baseball player to ever play for the Dodgers. He was this person. He was that person. He was this person to us. He was this person to the world. This is what he did. This is who he was. Think about what those people are going to say. Think about how those people are going to fill in the blanks. And for me, I'll just give y'all the exercise that I found. When people come to my funeral, they're going to say, you know what, man? He revolutionized the way that we think about self-help. He gave a different face. He put a different voice and a different tone, a different look to this topic. He brought it to a different group of people, a group of people who, when they are on the outside looking in of these movements, of this self-help stuff, of this affirmational stuff, of this visualization stuff, of these vision boards and all this other stuff, they look at it like it's not for them. but he made it for them. He brought it to them. He made it for them. He made it digestible for them. He helped them. He revolutionized that. And then he brought them into the fold and helped them get better in so many different aspects, because he brought me into his platform and he brought me to help these other people. He helped me reach so many people to help these people. I want the people who I have built this platform, who I am building this platform for, the platform that I'm building to bring other people into it eventually, the people who are better than me at what I'm doing, the people who are better than me, better looking than me, smoother talker than me, more motivating than me, in better shape than me, whatever the case. Once I build this platform up and I'm able to bring them in so they can help the people that they want to help, when they show up to my funeral and they talk about how I revolutionized shit or built this platform so they could help millions of people, that's what was going on at my funeral in my head. Not the sadness of it, not my family crying, but it was a celebration of my life, a celebration of the things that I had done. And that's how I found my purpose. I wasn't able to do it with just one of those questions. I had to really think about all three of those questions. For me, it was all three. Because I was really going through that time, that phase where I was just like, look, I need something different. I need to do something different. I need to be something different. And the way that I found my purpose was step by step by step by step by step. First, I read Purpose Driven Life. It's right there in the title. I'm trying to find my purpose, because all these other things that I'm talking about talk about living in purpose. They talk about following your passions. They talk about following your, making your goals align with your dreams and everything like that. And I was trying to change my dreams, because up until very recently, the only thing I had ever wanted to be was the biggest drug dealer that you've ever heard of. The only thing I ever wanted to be was a gang member. The only thing I ever wanted to have was stripes. The only thing I ever wanted to do was make money and have bad bitches and all this other shit, right? And I changed my mindset because I needed something different. I needed it. I didn't just want it. I needed it. I needed it. I needed that shit like water. I needed that shit like air. And so I was trying desperately to find my purpose, because the goals that I was setting for myself felt flimsy, because they didn't have purpose behind them. Point blank, period. The goals that I was setting felt flimsy. And the reason I say flimsy is because when every wind of change came along, they was, okay, maybe I should rethink my goals. When any circumstance came up, when anything was shaken, they just fell apart like a house of fucking cards. So I was trying to find my purpose. Purpose-driven life. It taught me that my purpose is not for me. It taught me that it tried to tell me that my purpose is for the church, and not too big on church, not too big on organized religion. So what only stuck with me from that is that my purpose is God-given. It's a gift. It's free. I don't have to do nothing for it. It's just there. I got it. But the thing about knowing that I got it is that I have to still cultivate it. I have to still develop it. I got it, but it's mine to take care of, right? It's mine to make better, okay? It's like if you get a new bike, a new bicycle, shit, if you get a new motorcycle, you get a new car, whatever the case. Like if you get it as a gift, are you going to wash it? Are you going to put some rims on it? You're going to put some new tires on it. You're going to make sure you get the oil changes in it. You want it to be louder. You want it to sound better. You want it to look better. You're going to put some speakers in it. You're going to put an exhaust on it. What are you going to do to make it better, right? That's the thing about gift and purpose, right? And that's what I found out from Purpose Driven Life. And then I was like, okay, I read Covey, and I heard about paradigms, and I heard about scheduling your life to align yourself with the roles that you wanted. And I was like, at the beginning of it, I'm like, okay, all of this is cool. But it's like, damn, if you don't have the purpose, you don't know the paradigm. You don't know the lens. You don't have the lens. Like, you know which lens you need to be using. You just ain't got it yet. You ain't got it in the mail. It ain't come yet. And then I got to Awaken the Giant Within. Or actually, no. I got to later on in the book, right? And it talked about the birthday party. And then that's when I started to get the inkling. And then I read Awaken the Giant Within. And that's when I found my purpose. That's when I found out what my purpose was. Because when I had read Think and Grow Rich, right? When I had read Think and Grow Rich, and I, kind of like let my subconscious mind and I let the new frequencies and vibrations that I was on kind of give me the way to get to the monetary or the material, whatever that I was going after. Some of these things had started to come through and shine through. Like, you want to get this amount, you want to do this with your life, you want to get to this place in this space, you're going to do it with these methods. Okay, but those are still just goals. Like, even though the goal was like, I want to be an author, even though the goal was I want to create the content, even though the goal was I want to entertain, motivate, and help people, those became the goals. But then it's like the whys came after I read Awaken the Giant Within. And now I was like, okay, now I know why I want to help people. I know what I want to help them do. And that's how I found the purpose. That's how I found the reason why the stuff that when I was reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he was talking about the way to build the greatest habits is to find those things that you just can do, that you can lose track of time doing. The things that come just super easy to you. Not the things that are like so simple that they just come easy, but the things that are like even difficult, they can be difficult, but you get into that flow state regardless. The things that you do where people say like, damn, you are really good at that. I wish I could do that. Like, there are things that I see people do and they're just like, man, I don't know. It's just easy to me. I love it. And I'm just like, I wish I could do that. And then there are things that I do where people say the same things. And I was finding out through what I was reading, like, this is purpose. And those are the 3 ways that I found my purpose. Those are the 3 ways I found my purpose. And once I found my purpose, it was easy to go into this next section. We're talking about how to live in it. We're going to talk about how to arrange your life real quick into it. So there are a couple different ways. And we're going to go back to, we're going to talk about how Covey talks about how to do it in 7 Habits, with the way he schedules his time management thing, his quadrant-based time management. We're going to talk about the way James Clear talked about it with the habits. And we're going to talk about, what was the last one? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the way that James Clear talks about it with the habits. And we're also going to talk about just how to make it the theme of your life. So the way that James Clear talks about it with the habits, the way that he talks about it is when you were thinking about making new habits, right? When you're thinking about expanding on new habits, there are habits that we do every single day or every single week or whatever the case. Well, we don't even realize that that's a habit. That's just something we fall into. And it's not one of the negative things that we're trying to get rid of. It's one of the things that we may be trying to attach something else to, right? And the reason that these habits can be linked to purpose is because these are the things that we are naturally inclined to do. These are the things that we are naturally good at. And one of the examples that he uses is the example of Michael Phelps, and he uses the example of this distance runner. So Michael Phelps, like, he is uniquely genetically gifted to be a great swimmer. He doesn't have to fight against like the length of his body, the length of his torso. He doesn't have to fight against his wingspan. He doesn't have to fight against genetics. He doesn't have to fight against anything. Once he gets in that pool, everything kind of comes naturally to him, right? And that's the physical example of it. But there are things that you mentally can do the way that Michael Phelps jumps in that pool. And you know what those things are. You know what they are. You know about the things that you like to talk about, the things that you get lost talking about to other people. You know about those things that even if you watch a video on YouTube about it, you get lost in it. You can keep scrolling on that fucking topic all day. You can search that side of TikTok all day, right? And you lose track of time. And then he talked about this long distance runner. He had a very short torso. He had the longer legs, but he was a very short man, very light man, not a lot of muscle on his frame, but not a lot of fat either. And he was just like very uniquely built to be this long distance runner. He won gold medals and shit. He didn't have to fight against anything. He didn't have to fight against a wind drag. He didn't have to fight against those days when he didn't feel like doing nothing. He didn't have to fight against those days when he felt like, man, this is some bullshit and I hate doing it. He didn't have to fight against those days when he was like, I'm only doing this because people tell me I should do it. He didn't have to fight against shit like that. And when you find the things that you can get into that flow state about, when you find the things that you naturally are inclined to do, or you find the things that you know you love doing when they bring the benefits of other people as well, those are the things that you are naturally and genetically inclined to do. Those are the gifts that you have been given. Those are the purpose, and that is how you start to walk in that purpose. By finding those things and finding those habits that build up to that purpose, finding those ways that you can live your life. Right? Because we know that purpose isn't an overnight thing. Purpose is never an overnight thing. Purpose is something that we have to work towards. Purpose is something that we have to walk towards. Sometimes we have to run towards it. Sometimes we have to swim towards it. Purpose is something that we're never going to achieve perfection of it overnight. But the steps to gaining mastery for it are going to come so easy to you. Not easy in the way like, damn, this is just like so physically easy to do this. No, but it's going to be something that you are just excited to do. It's going to be something that you want to do, something that you're passionate about doing. It's like when you get into the gym, the people who have that purpose to get healthy, the people who have that purpose to look good, the people who have that purpose that is related to that, and they get into that gym, even though they kill themselves with every single set, every single rep, they're leaving nothing on the table. They're leaving nothing in the tank. They're leaving nothing up to chance. I'm going to fucking grow. I'm going to fucking look good. I'm going to be healthy, right? Even though that shit is hard, getting to doing it is easy. And it's the same thing. So now when we talk about Covey, when he was talking about his quadrant-based time management system, he would talk about the roles that we wanted to fulfill in our lives. So we can take it a step further and we can talk about our purpose-driven roles. Like we do have our regular roles, like what we are at work. We have our roles with who we are with our family. We have our roles with who we are as a friend to other people. We have our roles with those things, right? And we need to incorporate those roles into our everyday life. Like the role of being a good husband. That means that you need to devote time to developing being a good husband, devote time to emotional intelligence, devote time to gaining good communication skills, devote time to learning your wife's love language, devote time to all of those things. And you can actually schedule those things on a weekly basis, right? And that's part of the quadrant-based time management system. Now, when we talk about the roles that are for our purpose, because our purpose is going to include who we are to our family, but our purpose is also going to include the work that we're doing. So let's say we haven't found the job yet that is aligned with our purpose. Well, you know what it is aligned with our purpose because part of our purpose is having a roof over our head, okay? But that is not the end of our purpose. So we still have an unfulfilled role that we need to place into our time management, our quadrant-based time management system. So let's say you want to write something. Let's say you want to entertain people in that mode. You want to write TV, you want to write movies or something, right? So you need to put that role. That's your purpose, right? That role needs to be addressed. That role needs to be put into your mind. It needs to be put into not only your mind, but into your schedule. It needs to be put into your routine. So you take that role and you put that there and you say, what is it that I'm going to do this week to help me on the path to that role, which is my purpose, to help me on the path to achieving my purpose? What is it that I'm going to do this week to get there? And we do that week in, week out. And And a lot of times the stuff, it does get to the point where it's like, damn, I feel like I'm doing the same shit over and over and over again every week. But you need to take that step back and you need to say that purpose is not the same as goals. Sometimes purpose is a lifelong effort instead of an achievement. Sometimes you're going to have goals. You're going to have short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, but all of these things are going to fit into purpose. Purpose is never achieved. Purpose is always an effort. It's always ongoing and it's always continuous. Goals are achieved. And you just line up your goals, line up your weekly goals, line up your monthly goals with purpose by doing our roles every week. All right. And now the third thing, I remembered the third thing as I was talking. One of the books that I read is The Miracle Morning. I read The Miracle Morning, or I've read The Miracle Morning. I read it, the recovery one. I read the regular one. I was looking for the writer's one. Basically, they give you 6 things. SAVERS. 6 things to do daily before you start your day. And these things can literally help you align every single day with purpose. I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. It's called the savers. These things help you align every single day of your life with purpose. They help you, not only do they help you align every single day with purpose, but this shit helps you make every single day the best day of your fucking life. I promise, I swear to God, I do this shit every morning. It works. If you haven't heard about it, here it is right here. Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. Check that shit out. We can talk about the savers. I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell real quick. You start your day with this shit. It helps you align with purpose. S is silence. And the reason silence helps you align with purpose is because silence is spiritual. Silence is clearing your mind. Silence is clearing the thoughts. Silence erases anxiety. Silence erases, am I doing things right? Am I on the right direction? Are my bills going to get paid? Did I leave this on? Did I do this last night? Did I do this right? No, silence is where you know what, you take that step back and you stop. The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you don't let your thoughts try to carry you away. You don't let the pressing, urgent matters of the day try to carry you away. You take that moment of silence. You can either pray, you can either meditate, or you can literally just breathe and relax. And next we move on to affirmations. And the affirmations that I got my affirmations from Think and Grow Rich. I got my affirmations from Think and Grow Rich. It is about where I want to be by this certain date and certain time, what I want to have and how I'm going to get there. Those are my affirmations. And I repeat to myself that I'm not only do I believe and see myself having it, but I know that I'm capable of doing it. My affirmations also are just telling myself, I know that I'm good enough. I know I'm talented. I look good today. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm saying, you know what? I look good. My haircut look good. My tattoos look good. I'm looking kind of sizey. I'm looking good. You know, I feel good. I feel healthy. I look healthy. I feel good. My day is going to go great. You know, I love my body. It's worthy of being taken care of and adorned in fine garments. Those are affirmations. And then you start with visualization. Now, the Think and Grow Rich affirmations can kind of fit into visualization because you visualize yourself not only having what you're trying to get, but you visualize yourself doing the things that you tell yourself you're going to do it. But the reason I put that in affirmations is because I visualize the same shit every day for that. But then every single day for my unique day visualizations, I might have different stuff I need to do this day. So I visualize what I'm going to be doing today, and I visualize how I'm going to walk through my day, what I'm going to do with my day, and I visualize mine with gratitude. I visualize everything with gratitude. I thank Yahweh, God, universe, whatever you want to call him, whatever, her, whatever you want to call it. I think that for the opportunity to do everything. I thank you for the gift of everything that's going to come my way. I thank you for everything that I'm going to be doing that particular day. And that changes from day to day. Something may be due that day. Presentation, paper, or maybe a different person I'm going to be talking to. Or I might have met somebody different. And I feel like I'm going to see them that day. And when I see them that day, I want to pour something into them, right? Or I might be making this video. And I'm thinking about, I visualize what I'm going to be saying in the video. And it's not every single word, but it's like I visualize myself, okay, I'm going to be yelling into my camera later on with this light on it. And I visualize myself doing that to the best of my ability, right? And I do that for myself every day. And then part of that visualization is I take that and I spin it and I say, how do these things lead to my purpose? How do these things build me to my purpose? How do these things contribute to my mindset of my purpose? How do these things contribute to the goals that lead to my purpose? How do these things fit into the bigger picture, right? And then we move on to the E. The E is the exercise. Exercise for me, that's just, for me, it fits into my purpose because of what it is that I want to do. Like it's a requirement for me to be healthy. Live a long life. It's a requirement for me to look good. I got to exercise. And I think that exercise fits into damn near every single purpose you can think of because you need to be healthy. You need to do it for a long time. You need to have a good mindset that comes along with exercising. Exercising at the beginning of the day fits into the purpose, and you can start your day off with like 50 burpees. You can start your day off with a couple of stretches. You can start your day off with like 10, 20 sit-ups. It's just getting the blood flowing, accomplishing something, because accomplishing that little goal leads into accomplishing other little goals, leads to accomplishing bigger goals, leads into walking towards your purpose. The next one is reading. The R is reading. And this is where you start your day off with something that is going to mentally build you up. It's just that simple. Start with something that's going to mentally build you up. This can be a book. This can be an audio book. This can be a video like this, maybe on a topic, maybe on a letter of the alphabet topic, right? It could be something like that. All right, the next is going to be the S, is going to be scribing. This is self-reflection. This is just journaling. It's journaling. It's literally journaling. It's where you write something out of your heart. You write some gratitude. You write some, the way you feel about an issue. You write about an obstacle. You let those things go, or you self-reflect, or you unpack those blue beads that you got that you feel like may come out if you're going to have some friction and all your stuff pops out and flies out on people. This is where you unpack your baggage. This is where you let those lingering thoughts that try to tell you you ain't good enough, them thoughts that try to argue with the affirmation self, you write them things down. Or you reignite the purpose. Maybe you've lost sight of what it was you were doing yesterday. Like yesterday didn't seem to fit with my purpose. Yesterday didn't seem to build towards that. Yesterday seemed to build towards something else. So maybe today I need to go back and I need to pull out a pen and paper. I need to pull out my phone and open the note app, and I need to say, no, this is where I'm going. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to get there. And this is why I'm doing it. Simple as that. The savers. So now we've talked about the benefits of purpose. We talked about what purpose is. We talked about how to cultivate it. And we've talked about how to live your life in it. All right? And that's the video, man. I do apologize that it was so long. It was damn near an hour. It was like 50 minutes. But like I said, this one was an important one for me because I am only doing any of this shit that I'm doing because I found purpose. The only reason I keep doing it is because I found purpose. Because purpose is what brings persistence. Purpose is what keeps people from not giving up when things don't explode or go super fast. And that's the reason I keep doing what I'm doing. That's the reason I'm still here. That's the reason that I'm still wanting to help people. I'm worried about the process and not the outcomes. That's purpose. All right? If you like the video, like the video. Share it with your peoples, comment on it. Make sure to share your thoughts with me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you're watching this. And thank you very much. It's your boy Tree. Deuces.